mariners! Fall ye to yardly before we run ourselves aground! Bestir!
Hey, my hearts! Cheerly, cheerly, my hearts! Yard, yard! Taking the topsail!
Good boatswain, have care! Where's the master? Play the men!
I keep below!
Where's the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labor! Keep your cabin! You do assist the storm!
Very good, be patient!
When the sea is tense, what cares these roarers for the name of king? To cabin, trouble us not!
Good, yet remember whom thou hast aboard!
None that I'm more loved than myself!
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the top mast! Lower! Bring her to try with main A plague upon this howling! Well, yet again, what do you hear? Shall we give oar and drown?
The fox on your throat, you bawling, blasphemous and charitable dog!
Work you then!
Hang, hang, you whoreson! Insolent noisemaker! We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art!
I'll warrant him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell, and as leaky as an unstanched wench. Assist them, for their cases is ours.
I am out of patience. We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. This wine-shopped rascal would that he might lie drowning, the washing of 10 tides.
He'll be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it. Oh, Lord have mercy on us, we split.
We split! Let's all sink with the king!
Let's take leave of him!
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren land. Long heath, brown firth, anything. The will above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the Wilkins cheek, dashes the fire out. I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had, no doubt, some noble creatures in it, dashed all to pieces. Oh! The cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, ere the good ship so have swallowed, and the frottening souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh! Woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know, to never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Lend thy hand, and pluck my magic garment from me. Lie there, my heart. Oh, wipe thou thine eye. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have so safely ordered with such provision in mine art, that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair, be did to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must now know further.
You've often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came into this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything the image tell me that hath kept with thy remembrance?
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once attended me?
Thou hadst and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since! Thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father was the Duke of Milan, thou his only princess and heir, no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or, blessed was it that we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou say'st, were we heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think o'er the team that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you further?
My brother, and thy uncle, called Antonio. I pray thee mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. He, that next thyself of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state. As at that time through all the signories it was the first, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts, without a parallel. Those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Being once perfected in how to grant suits, how to deny 'em, who to advance and who to trash, for overtopping new created the creatures that were mine, I say, or changed 'em, or else new formed 'em, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts of the state to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy that had hid my princely trunk and sucked my verdure out on't. Thou attend'st not.
Oh, good sir, I do.
I pray thee mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, with that which, but by being so retired, all prized, all popular rate. In thy false uncle awaked an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood in its contrary, as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit, our confidence sans bounds. He being thus lorded, not only with what my revenue yielded, with what my power might else exact, like one who having into truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative, hence his ambition growing, dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, he must needs be absolute villain. Me, poor fellow, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable. Confederates, so dry he was for sway, with the King of Naples. To do him homage, pay him annual tribute, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed, alas, poor Millen, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition and the event, and then tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother.
Now, the condition. This King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that in lieu of the premises of homage and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom. Whereon a treacherous army levied, one midnight, fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness the ministers for the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Alack, for pity! I not remembering how I cried out then will cry it o'er again. 'Tis a hint that rings mine eyes to it.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business, which now's upon's. Without the wish this story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that very hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colors fairer painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they had prepared a rotten carcass of a butt, not rig, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the wind, whose pity sighing back again did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubin, thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I did deck the sea with drops full salt. Under my burden groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who being then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich linens, garments, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steeded much. So of his charity, knowing I love my books, did he furnish me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here, in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princes can, with more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heavens, thank you for it. And now I pray thee, for still 'tis beating on my mind, your reason for raising the sea storm.
No, thus far forth. By accident, most strange. Bountiful fortune, now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to the shore. And by my prescience I find that my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. It is a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come. I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel. Come.
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, whether 'tis to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curved clouds, to thy strong bidding, task, Ariel, and all her quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article I boarded the king's ship. Now in the beak, the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometimes I divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, and bowsprit would I flame distinctly, and then meet and join. Joe's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary in sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread to ride and shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not infect his reason?
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine. Then, oh, a fire with me. The king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring more like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, "Hell is empty, and all the devils are here!"
That's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Close by,
But are the Ariel safe?
not a hair perished, and on their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, I landed by himself in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast dispersed them, and all the rest of the fleet.
In harbor is the king's ship, in the deep nook where once thou callest me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed Bermuda. There she's hid. The mariners all under hatches stowed, whom with a charm joined to their suffered labor, I have left asleep. As for the rest of the fleet, whom I dispersed, all are on the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw their king shipwrecked, his great person perished.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time 'twixt 6 and now must by us both be used most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
Oh no, moody. What is't thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, remember, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistaking, served without or grudge or grumbling. Thou didst promise to bake me a full year.
Hast thou forgot from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost. And think'st it much to tread upon the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me bidding in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost?
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No.
Thou liest! Where was she born? Tell me. Speak!
Sir, in Argie.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgett'st. This damned witch Sycorax, who for mischiefs manifolds and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Argie thou know'st was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant, and for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee by means of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine, within which rift thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died, and left thee there, where thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this island, save for the son she did litter there, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honored with a human shape.
Aye, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so, is Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowest what a torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, and penetrate the breasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and found thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his naughty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee.
What shall I do?
Go. Make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape, and hither come ent. Go, hence, with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake!
The strangeness of your story put a heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir. I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serve us in offices that do profit us. What ho! Caliban, my slave, thou earth thou. Speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise, thou. When? Ah, my fine apparition, quaint Ariel, hearken thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth!
As wicked you as ere my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. A southwest blow on ye, and blister you all o'er.
For this be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pin thy breath up. Urchins shall, for that vast of night that they may work all exercise on thee, thou shalt be pinched. Each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me, and made much of me, would give me water with berries in't, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle. Fresh springs, brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats light on you. For I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king. And here you sty me in this hard rock, while you do keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and did lodge thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Would that been done! Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Calibans.
Abhorred slave, which any print of goodness will not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak. Taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, at that end which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hast deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on't is I know how to curse. The Red Plague rid you for learning me your language.
Exceed hence! Fetch us and fuel and be quick. Thou art best to answer other business. Oh, shrugs thou malice? If thou neglectst or dost unwillingly what I command, I will rack thee with old crab. Fill all thy bones with ache. Make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No! Pray thee! I must obey. His art is of such power it would control my damned god Setibus and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence!
Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer us see change into something rich and strange. Seeing him hourly ring his knell, hark how I hear them ding, ding, dong bell. Hark how I hear them ding, 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 dong bell. Ah, 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 ah.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father's wrack, this music crept by me upon the waters, allying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather. But 'tis gone. No, it begins again.
Thy father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. See nymphs hourly
does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, no sound the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The veiled curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yon.
What is it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Leave me, sir, it carries a brave form. But 'tis a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he's something stained with grief. That's beauty's canker. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He's lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine. For nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit finds spirit. I'll set thee free for this.
Most sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. Vouchsafe my prayer may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give if I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is... Oh, you wonder if you be made or no.
No wonder, sir. But certainly a maid.
My language? Heavens, I'm the best of them that speak this speech. Were I but where 'tis spoken.
How? The best? What wert thou if the King of Naples heard thee?
A single thing as I am now that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes never since at ebb beheld the king my father racked.
Alack, for pity.
Yes, faith. And all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his braver son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee, if now 'twere fit to do it. At the first sight, they have changed eyes. Spirit, find spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this. A word, good sir. A word. I feel you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw. First that e'er I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way?
If a virgin, and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one word more. They are both in either's powers. But this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. A word, good sir. I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the Lord on't.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come. I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradled. Follow!
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy hath more power.
Oh, good father, Make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle and not fearful.
What? But my foot, my tutor. Put thy sword up, traitor, who makes the show but dares not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Oh, beseech you, father!
Yes, hang not on my garments.
Sir, have pity. I'll be your surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What? What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush, hush. Thou think'st there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench. To the most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wrack of all my friends, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid. All corners else of the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on. Spirit, fine spirit, thou hast done well. Follow. Hark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature, sir, than he appears by his speech.
Thou
This is unwonted which came from him.
shalt be as free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not for him.
Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the master of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him or so.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Sir,
One, tell.
when every grief is entertained, that's offered comes to the entertainer.
$1.
Dolour comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purposed.
And you have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my good lord...
Fie, what a spendthrift is he of his tongue.
I prithee, spare.
Well, I have done. But yet,
He will be talking, the old cock.
though this island be desert, uninhabitable and almost inaccessible, yet it must needs be of subtle, tender, and gentle temperance. The air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs, and rotten ones, too.
As 'twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none, or very little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks, how green!
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
As many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with sea water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies?
Aye, or very falsely pocket up his report.
Methinks our garments are as fresh as when we put them on person at freak at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the king of Tunis. Ah, sir, is not my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean in a sew-it.
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there. For coming thence, my son is lost. And in my rate, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou, mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water and oared himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you may have yourself to thank for this great loss, which would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she, at least, is banished from your eye, who hath cause to wet the grief on't.
Prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us, and the fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, to which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business-making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
So's the dearest of the loss.
My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
And most courageously.
Good sir, it is foul weather in us all when you are cloudy.
Foul weather?
Very foul.
Do you mark me, sir?
I prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe your highness. And did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs that they always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at!
You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue in it 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go a bat fouling.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
Nay, I warrant you, I would not adventure my discretion so weakly. But will you laugh me asleep? For I am suddenly very heavy.
Go sleep, hear us.
What? So soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with myself shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow, and when it doth, it is a great comforter.
We too shall watch all your person while you take your rest, and guard all your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
'Tis the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They drop as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What? Art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and it is but a sleepy language, and thou speakst out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? This is a strange repose, to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep. Die rather. Winkst whilst thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my purpose. You must be so too if heed me, which to do trebles thee o'er.
Well, I am standing water.
I will teach you how to flow.
Do so, to ebb hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish, while thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed do so often to the bottom run, by their own fear or sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this, who shall be of as little memory when he is earth, hath here almost persuaded the king his son's alive. 'Tis as impossible that he's undrowned as he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Claribel.
She, that is queen of Tunis? She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life? She that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post?
What stuff is this? 'Tis true my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Claribel measure us back to Naples? Stay in Tunis! Let Sebastian wake! Say this were death that now hath seized them. They were no worse than now they are. And there be that in Naples can rule as well as he that sleeps. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What the sleep this were for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tend to your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me, much feater than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir. Where lies that? I feel not this deity in my bosom. That 20 consciences stand betwixt me and Millen, be they candied and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon, whom I with this obedient steel can lay to bed forever. Whilst you doing thus, might put this ancient morsel, Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou canst Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee of the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when you see me rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo.
My master, through his art, foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in. If of this life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake.
No good angel, preserve the king!
No, awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
Whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather lions. Did it not wake you? Struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, it was a din to fright the monsters here, to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon my honor, sir, I did hear a humming, and that a strange one, too, that they did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As I opened my eyes, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard. Oh, that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Oh, the heavens protect him from these beasts, for I'm sure he is in the island. Where are they going?
Lead away!
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats, on Prosper fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll nor pinch, fright me with urchin shows, pitch me i' the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid 'em. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometime, like apes, that moo and chatter at me, and after bite me. Then, like hedgehogs that lie tumbling in my barefoot way, and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometime am I all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, now lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all.
And another storm brewing. I hear it, sing in the wind.
Yon, same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor.
If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head.
Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pale fools. What have we here? A man?
Or a fish?
Dead?
Or alive? Oh, a fish! He's a fish. He smells like a fish.
Oh, a very ancient and fish-like smell. Oh, a kind of not of the newest, poor John. Were I in England now, as once I was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there but would give a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man.
Any strange beast there makes a man.
When they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lay out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man.
And his fins, like arms.
Warm? Oh, my troth! Oh, my troth! I do now let loose my opinion.
Hold it no longer.
He's no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again.
My best way is to creep under his gabardine.
There is no other shelter hereabout.
Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Yep.
I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past. Oh. Phew.
Oh, I shall no more to see, here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort. Oh, the master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, the Beau, Meg, and Marion, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, go hang. She loved not to savor of tar nor of pitch, yet a sailor may scratch her whereas she did itch. Let the sea, boys, and let her go hang. This is a scurvy tune, too. But here's my comfort.
Do not torment me!
What? You have devils here? You put tricks upon us with savages and men of Ind? I have not escaped drowning to be afeard now of your forelegs. For it hath been said, as proper a man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give ground, and it shall be said so again while Stephano breathes its nostrils.
The spirit torments me!
Ah! This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs, who has got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He's in his fit now and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If he had never drunk wine afore, it'll go far to remove his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I'll not take too much for him. He shall pay for him that hath him, and that's soundly.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon, I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon thee.
Come on, you ways. Come on, cat, open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you. Open your mouth. Come on, this will shake your shaking, I can tell you, and that's soundly. Come. Ah? Ha-ha. Oh, you cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me!
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen. I'll pour some in thy other mouth.
Stephano!
Let thy other mouth call me. This is a devil and no monster. I will leave him.
Stephano! If thou be a Stephano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend, Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. Thou art very Trinculo indeed, but how camest thou to be the siege of this mooncalf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed with a thunderstroke, but art thou not drowned, Stephano?
Ah.
I hope now thou art not drowned.
Ah.
It's a storm overblown. I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. And art thou living, Stephano? Oh, Stephano! 2 Neapolitans escaped.
Oh, really, do not spin me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites, that's a brave god and bears celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear upon this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butter sack, which the sailors heaved overboard by this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with my own hands since I was cast ashore.
I'll swear upon this bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Good. Swear how thou camest hither.
Oh, swam ashore, man. Like a duck. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stephano, hast any more of this?
The whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock down by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, mooncalf? How dost thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, man. I swear time was when I was the man in the moon.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush.
Come, swear to that. Kiss the book. I'll furnish it a nun with new contents, swear.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I afeard of him, a very weak monster. The man of the moon, a most poor, credulous monster. Well-drawn monster and good suit.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island, and I will kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come now down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. A most scurvy monster. I could find in my heart to beat him.
Drink it. Monster. Come. Kiss.
But that the poor monster's in drink.
An abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. Thou pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster. To make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young sea mews from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
Really, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo the king and all our company else being drowned. Here, we will inherit here. Come, bear my bottle. We'll fill him by and by again. Come on,
A howling monster. A drunken monster.
Farewell, master, farewell. No more dams I'll make for fish. No more dams, nor fetching, firing, and requiring. No fetch fire, no, not me.
Not him.
No straight treachery, no wash dish. Ban, Caliban. As a new master, get a new man. Freedom for Caliban. Freedom for Caliban.
Freedom for Caliban.
Freedom to the island, sing freedom. Freedom for Caliban.
Come on, yeah.
Freedom for Caliban.
Lead the way, brave monster! We'll follow!
Come on, show us the way.
Freedom.
Oh, there be some sports are painful, and their labor delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and Most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and place them upon a sore injunction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work and says such baseness had never like execute her. But I forget. These sweet thoughts do even refresh my labor's most busy list when I do it.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. Ere the lightning had burnt up these logs that you are enjoined to pile, pray set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray now rest yourself. He is safe for these 3 hours.
Oh, dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature. I had rather crack my back, break my sinews, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with much more ease. For it is my goodwill to it.
Oh!
And yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, no, noble mistress. 'Tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda? Oh, my good father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration. Worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady have I eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongue has into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women. Never any with so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh, you so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen that man I may call men than you, my good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skillless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle sometimes too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it. And for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven! Oh, earth bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly, invert what best is boded me to mischief. I, beyond all limits of what else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heaven's rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
Mine own unworthiness. I dare not offer what I desire to give, much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me, plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
My mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ere of freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. Now farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000.
So glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
I'm drunk off my butt! Trinculo! Trinculo! Find that bully monster! Got business!
Come on, monster! We got places to be! Come on!
Trinculo!
Come on, ow! Ow!
Tell not me! When the butter's out, we'll drink water. Therefore, bear up and board him, servant monster. Drink to me.
Oh, servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there are but 5 upon this island. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. The eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? Who are brave monster indeed, if they were set in his tail.
My man, monster, had drowned his tongue in sack.
Aye.
For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore. 35 leagues off and on by his good light. Thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster. Or my standard.
Oh, your lieutenant, if you list. He's no standard.
Will not run, monsieur, monster.
Oh, nor go neither.
Yet you lie like dogs and say nothing neither. Oh.
Speak, moon calf, once in thy life, if thou beest a good moon calf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe.
Oh, hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
I'll not serve him. He is not valiant.
What? Thou liest, most ignorant monster. Why, I am in case to justle a constable. Why, thou debauched fish, thou. Was ever man a coward that hath drunk so much sack as I today? Oh, wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo! How he mocks me! Wilt thou
lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
No, again. Bite him to death. Bite him to death, I prithee.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your mouth. You prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Harry, will I kneel and repeat it? I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
What? Oh.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant. A sorcerer that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest. What?
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I would my noble master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your mouth. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand, I'll supplant some of your teeth.
Why, I said nothing.
Mum, then, and no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this isle. From me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee.
How shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord. I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest. Thou canst not.
What a pied ninny's this? Thou scurvy patch! I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows and take the bottle from him. When that's gone, he shall drink naught but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick freshes are.
Trinculo, run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and I'll turn my mercy out of course and make a stock fish of thee.
Why? What did I?
I did nothing. I'll go further off.
Did thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Do I so? Take thou that. As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give thee the lie. Out of your wits and hearing too? A box o' your bottle.
Diskin sack and drinking do.
A murrain on your monster.
And the devil take your fingers.
Really, stand further off. Now forward with your tail. Stand farther.
Ow!
Stand farther. Farther. All right. Proceed.
Why, as I told thee, 'tis the custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayst brain him. Or with a log batter his skull. Or punch him with a stake. Or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember, first to possess his books. For without them, he's but a sot as I am, nor hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I. Burn but his books. He has brave utensils, for so he calls them, that when he has a house he'll deck withal. But that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman, but only Sycorax, madame, and she. But she as far surpasseth Sycorax, as great does least.
Is it so brave a lass?
Aye, Lord, she will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I shall be king and queen. Save our graces. Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. How dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Come, give me thy hand. Sorry I beat thee. While thou livest, keep a good tongue in your mouth.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Mary, on mine honor.
This will I tell my master.
Thou makes me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you troll the cat you taught me but while here?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason. Any reason. Come, Trinculo, let us sing. Oh, scout 'em
And flout 'em,
flout 'em,
and scout 'em,
thought is free.
That's not the tune.
Scout 'em and flout 'em and scout 'em, thought.
No, not the tune.
Scout 'em. What does this say?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take as thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins.
He that does pays all debts. Oh, mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that if I then had waked after long sleep, will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, methought the clouds would open up and show riches ready to drop upon me. That when I waked, I cried to dream again.
Monster, this will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed,
That will be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it, and after do our work.
Monster, lead the way. We'll follow. I could see this taborer. He lays it on.
Wilt come? I'll follow Stephano.
wrong way.
I can go no farther, sir. My whole bones ache. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
Old Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope and keep it no longer from my flatterer. He is drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I am right glad he's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage we will take throughly.
Then let it be tonight. For now they are all pressed with travel. They will not nor cannot use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friends, hark!
Marvelous sweet music!
Give us, kind keepers, what were these?
A living drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns. That in Arabia there is but one tree, the phoenix throne. One phoenix at this hour reigning there.
I'll believe both. And what does else one credit? Come to me, and I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travelers ne'er did lie, though folks at home condemn 'em.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me if I should say I saw such islanders? For certes these are people of the island, who though they be of monstrous shape, yet note, their manners are more gentle kind than in our human generation you shall find many, nay, almost any.
Noble sir, thou hast spoken well, for some of you there present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse such shapes, such gestures, and such sound expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
Praise in departing.
They are vanished.
No matter, for they have left their viands behind. And we have stomachs. Will't please you taste of what is here?
Not I.
Oh, be not afeard, sir, please.
I will stand to and feed, although my last. No matter, for I fear the best is past. Brother, my lord the Duke, stand to and do as we.
You are three men of sin, whom destiny, the never surfeited sea, hath caused to belch up you. And on this island, where man doth not inhabit, you monster men, being most unfit to live, I have made you mad. And even with such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! The elements of which your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with bemocked at stabs, kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dowl that's in my plume. If you could hurt, your swords are now too messy for your strength, and may not be uplifted. But remember,
For that's my business to you, that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea. He and his innocent daughter, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores. Yea, all the creatures against your peace. Thee, of thy son, Alonso, they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition shall step by step attend you and your way. Here in this most desolate isle is nothing but heart sorrow and a clear light ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel. A grace it had, devouring. My instructions hast thou nothing bated, what thou hadst to say. So with good life and observation strange, my meaner ministers their several kinds have done. My high charms work, and these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They are now in my power. And in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they supposed is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
By all that's holy, sir, why stand you there in such strange stare?
It is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me. And the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, in the ooze my son is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than e'er plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time, I'll fight their legions o'er. I'll be thy second!
All three of them are desperate, their great guilt like poison given to work. I'll follow them and hinder them from what this ecstasy might provoke them to do.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live, who once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here afore heaven I ratify this my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me if I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it against an oracle.
Then, as my gift, and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin knot, before all sanctimonious ceremonies may, with full and holy rite be ministered, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow, but barren hate, sour-eyed disdain, and discord shall bestrew the wedding of your bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both. Therefore take heed, as Hymen's lamps shall light you.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue, and long life, with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion our worser genius can, shall never melt mine honor into lust. To take away the edge of that day's celebration, when I shall think, or Phoebus' steeds are foundered, or night kept chained below.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. Come, Ariel, my industrious servant, come.
What would my potent master?
Oh,
Here I am.
Oh, and thy meaner ministers this last service this worthily perform. But I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble o'er whom I give thee power here to this place. Incite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently,
I with a twink.
before you can say come and go, and breathe twice and cry, so each one tripping on his toe will be here with mock and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel. Do not approach until thou dost hear me call.
Well, I conceive.
Look thou be true. Do not give dalliance too much the rein. Strongest oaths are straw to the fire of the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warrant you, sir, the white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardor of my liver.
Well, come, my Ariel. Bring a corollary rather than want a spirit. Appear and pertly, no tongue, all eyes. Be silent. Forgot the foul conspiracy of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. Well done. Avoid. No more.
Father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never to this day saw him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended, and these are actors, as I foretold. We're all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. And our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. But be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into my cell and there repose. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish you peace.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Ariel, come!
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Why, my commander? I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared I might anger thee.
Say, Spirit, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told thee they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing of their faces, beat the ground for stomping of their feet, yet always bending toward their project. And so I beat my tabor, at which, like unbacked coats, they pricked their ears. I so charmed them with my music that they my lowing followed through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking grass and thorns that entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there, dancing to the chins that the foul lake or stunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible, retain thou still. The trumpery in my house, go bring it hither, for stale to catch these thieves.
I go.
Hang it on this. Devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick, on whom my pains humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to roaring.
Pray you, tread softly. Softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We now are near his cell.
Monster, you're a fairy whom you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than play the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss.
Jack?
At which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? Should I take a displeasure against you? Look, you.
Thou wert but the lost monster.
Good my lord, give me thy favor still.
Ah.
Be patient.
Ah.
For the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore, speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
I but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There's not only disgrace and dishonor in that, but an infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wetting.
Yet this is your harmless fairy, monster.
I'll go fetch off my bottle, though I be owing ears for my labor.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief which may make this island thine own forever, and I thy Caliban, for I thy footlicker.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stephano! Oh, peer! Oh, worthy Stephano! Look what a wardrobe here is for thee!
Let it alone, thou fool. It is but trash.
Oh ho, monster! We know what belongs to a frippery.
Trinculo, put off that gown. By this good hand, I'll have this gown.
Thy grace shall have it.
The dropsy drown this fool. What do you mean to dote thus on such luggage? Let it alone and do the murder first. Oh, if he awake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange starve.
Monster, be you quiet. Mistress Line, is not this my jerkin? Now, jerkin, you like to lose your hair and prove a ball jerkin.
Do. We steal by line and level, and like your grace.
Yeah, I thank thee for that jest. Here's a garment for it, which shall not go unrewarded while I'm king of this country. Steal by line and level. Excellent passive paint. Have that garment for it.
Come, monster. Put some lime upon your fingers and away with the rest.
I will have none on't. We shall lose our time, and all be turned to barnacles or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your fingers. Go, bear this where my hog's head of wine is, or else I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this.
And this.
All of
Hey,
this.
mountain, hey! Let them be hunted soundly. Go charge my goblins that they grind their joints with dry convulsions, shorten up their sinews with aged cramps, and more pinch-spotted make them than part or cat a mountain.
Hark thereon!
Let them be hunted! Now at this hour, lie at my mercy all mine enemies, and shortly all my labors shall end, and thou shalt have the air at freedom. For a little, follow, and do me service.
Monster! Trinculo! Trinculo! Trinculo!
Hey,
Tracy? Oh, Tracy!
Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not. My spirits obey. And time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work would cease.
I did say so when first I raised the tempest. Say, spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
All prisoners, sir. They cannot budge till your release. Confined together. They are brimful with sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good, old Lord Gonzalo. Tears run down his beard, like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly worksome, that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, were I human.
And mine shall.
Ooh.
Hast thou,
Ooh.
which art but air,
Ooh.
a touch, a feeling of their afflictions? And so shall myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason gainst my fury do I take part. The nobler action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown farther. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, fields, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlet makes, whereof the yew not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew. By whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azure bolt set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, out, and led them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine ends upon their fancies that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, and bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than in ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. A solemn air, and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy. Cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skulls. There stand, for you are spell stopped. Oh, holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses do chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clearer reason. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver and a loyal sir to him thou followest, I will pay thy graces home, both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched for it now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who together with Sebastian, whose pinches therefore almost strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the rising tide shall shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that would look on me or would know me. Ariel, fetch me the hat and rapier in my cell. I will discase me, and myself present as I was sometime millen. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bees sung, there's a kind in a cowslip bell I do lie. There I couch, where owls do cry, on the bad back I do fly.
Why, that's my dainty spirit. I shall miss thee so, so, so. To the kingship, invisible as thou art, there thou shalt find the mariners asleep under the hatches, the master and the boatswain being awake, and force them to this place. And presently, I prithee.
I breathe the air before me and return ere your pulse beats twice.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan. For more assurance that a living prince doth speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood. And since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom, I resign, and do pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be confined or measured.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle, which will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I could here pluck his highness frown on you and justify you traitors. This time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth, I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation. How thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost. How sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Well, irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You the like loss?
As great to me of late, and supportable to make the dear lost, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh, heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were. I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son doth lie. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. I do perceive these lords do so much admire that they devour their reason, and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath. But howsoe'er you have been justled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very duke which was thrust forth from Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you were wreck was landed to be the lord on't. Yet no more of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day, not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content ye, as much as me my dukedom.
If this be a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Oh, all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise, and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder. How many goodly creatures are here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renowned, but never saw before, of whom I received a second life, and second father this lady makes him to me.
I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere this. The gods look down, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is they that hath chalked forth the way that led us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo. give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen.
Amen.
Sir, only service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit,
Was it well done?
bravely, my diligence. Thou shalt be free. Go. Set Caliban and his confederates free. Untie the spell.
This is a strange amaze as ere men trod. And there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At picked leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable, of every these happened accidents. Till when, be cheerful, sir. Think of each thing well. There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself. For all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster. Coraggio.
What? If these be true spies, which I wear in my head, he's a goodly sight.
Oh, Septimus, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I am afraid he will chastise me.
Ha! What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy 'em?
Very like. This one's a plain fish and no doubt marketable.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, and say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death!
Is not this Stephano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trinculo is reeling right. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last. I fear I will never out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing.
Why, how now, Stephano?
How now, Stephano? I am not Stephano, sirrah, but a cramp.
You'd be king of the Isle, sirrah.
Well, I should have been a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as ere I looked on.
He is as misshapen as in his manners as in his shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will, and I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. Oh, what a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god.
Go to, away!
Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Thrice double ass.
Get away from me. It's all your fault, monster.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall rest for this one night, which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away, the story of my life, and the particular accidents gone by until I came into this isle. And in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples. where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved solemnized. And thence retire me to my millen, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that you'll catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel. Chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements, be free, and fare thou well. Please you, draw near. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceivers, dwell in this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless it be relieved by prayer, which pierces, that it assaults, mercy itself, and frees all faults, as you from crimes would pardoned be. Let your indulgence set me free.